Welcome back. Now, up to this point, we learned about HTML, CSS, templates, and learned how to do layout with things like Flexbox and CSS Grid. And probably the most important thing that you need to know from these sections is how to create a website, right? How to lay out a website, but also not spend a lot of time on simple tasks. Because when we get to the JavaScript section, which is the more exciting actual logic programming part of the course, that's when you truly become a developer. Up until now, what we've learned is the foundation that allows us to build web apps and applications, but you're never going to actually get interviewed about these specific topics. I mean, yes, in small cases you might be. If you're a designer, you might get asked questions about CSS and HTML, but most of the time, the questions you'll be asked is on things like JavaScript, logic, and more complex topics that we're going to cover later on in the course. But the one thing that I really want you to take away from this section is being able to build websites fast. Or at least get to the part where you need to start writing JavaScript, because that's where your real job begins. So I have a task for you. Using all the skills that you've learned up until now, I want you to create a layout of a website, something that you're going to do over and over throughout your career. And I've created a small starter file here, where we have these little button-like containers, or divs. But as the name suggests, I want you to align these in a responsive way to something that looks like this. I know it's not the prettiest thing right now to look at, and we're only focusing on layout. But what I want you to do is to make the header green button over here be an actual header. We want the cover to be, well, the actual cover of our website. And then maybe have a project grid where we list all of our projects like we have over here. And then obviously a footer at the bottom. And I've selected this layout because it's a very common pattern that you'll see in a lot of websites. So you're going to be doing this a lot. So let's figure out the best way to go about doing this so that when I make this smaller, it's all responsive. So your task is to use whatever you've learned up until now to create this using the starter files. And don't worry, I'll have a solution video for you after this. And we'll also go into how easy it is once you have a layout, which is the recommended way to build a website, starting with the layout first. And then once you have the layout fixed, converting this into something usable like this. Because styling becomes really, really easy once you have the layout in place. Now, the one hint that I want to give here is to use both Flexbox and CSS Grid to accomplish your goal. Although anything you can do in Flexbox, you can do with Grid and vice versa, or at least most things, using the tools in combination, Flexbox and CSS Grid together is really, really powerful to allow you to build a layout like this. So good luck. I know it's going to be tough, but I'll see you in the solution video. Bye-bye.